All right, time for another story from my car. This time I'm not charging it. I'm on the ferry heading back from Seattle. Anywho, a lot of people say, you always remember where you were when JFK was shot. Well, what if you weren't born yet? I wasn't. A lot of you weren't. So how about, do you remember when you found out about JFK Junior? I believe it was July 17th, 1999. Yes. I don't know why I'm doing a Jeff Goldblum impression. I don't do impressions. Yes. July 17th, 1999. Anyway, it was a Saturday. I know exactly where I was. I was driving to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to go to a flea market. Why was I going to a flea market on July 17th, 1999? Well, I lived in New Orleans at the time, and I was hired to do a radio show for a company called Fast Band Globalcast. It was an online radio station. It was way ahead of its time. And we were broadcasting from Bourbon Street, but the studio wasn't ready yet. So myself and this other disc jockey, I think they called us cyber jockeys. I think we were CJs. We were basically unemployed. Like, we were getting paid, but we didn't have a job yet because the studio wasn't ready. And there was a grocery store called Schwegmans. So if you're from the if you're from the New Orleans area, you probably remember Schwegmans. So Schwegmans was going out of business when I first moved there in 99. And my friend Pat and I, we were driving to a Schwegmans because this was like, one of its final days. It was like everything's 80% off. Like, let's go in and see what's going on. So we're in Schwegmans, and all of a sudden they make an announcement. It's like 10 minutes to 5. And they go, ladies and gentlemen, this store is closing forever in 10 minutes. We need your help. Anything you can fit into a cart. If it fits in a cart, we're charging $10 per cart. Anything. So I'm like, holy crap. So we're like walking down the aisles, just throwing in anything. Makeup, greeting cards, whatever. Just filling our carts up. And we each had a cart, and we go check out, $20, 2 carts full. Throw it in his Mitsubishi Eclipse. I can't talk. Then I'm like, there's more Schwegman stores. So I go inside and I say to the manager, hey, any other stores closing today? He goes, as a matter of fact, there is one. It's about 15 minutes away. They close at 6 o'clock. So I get back in the car. I go, we're going to this other one. So we drive this other one 15 minutes away, and we're in Schwegmans. They have not yet made the announcement. And we're like time travelers because we know what's about to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So we're just slowly putting things in our cart, and people are looking at us like we're weird. And then we're like just filling, like just pushing stuff down. We went behind the service counter and grabbed cigarettes, cigars, cigarellos, those little thin ones. We grabbed boxes of condoms, and we just shoved it all. We filled our 2 baskets, and people were looking at us like we're crazy. And then, ding, ladies and gentlemen. And we look at each other like, here it comes. This store is closing in 10 minutes forever. Anything you can fit in your basket, $20 a basket. And I'm like, 20? It was only 10. And I'm like, all right, still, it's pretty good. $20 for a basket full of stuff. And we had condoms and cigarettes and greeting cards and makeup. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. So we both check out, and his Mitsubishi now, it's like a 96 and 80. I don't even remember what year it was, but we just packed this thing with 2 baskets from this store and 2 baskets from the other store, and we're trying to figure out what to do with it. So we look up online and we find a flea market. I'm like, oh, we got to do a flea market. So we find a flea market. The closest one was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we drove to Baton Rouge, and we're listening on the radio that morning as we were driving, and they're announcing that JFK Junior, not RFK Junior, JFK Junior had died in a plane crash. And we then went and sold all of our stuff. We were like a dollar store. Pack of cigarettes, $1 a pack. Everything was $1. I think I still have some greeting cards. all these years later. I'm not sure. If you get like a birthday card from me and it looks really old, it might be from Schwegmann's from 1999. And I also remember a girl walking up to our table, and she's like, "Mama, I don't feel so right." And then she puked bleh, right on a lot of our stuff. So we did lose some merch. I think we made out with the money. I think not the girl that puked. We didn't make out. I think Pat and I made our $60 back and then some. Have you ever done that? And more importantly, where were you when you found out JFK Junior had died?